The role of digital devices and services in our homes is evolving rapidly, and to help us make sense of it, EY has published a new report about the digital home. To tell us more about it, I'm joined by Adrian Baschnonga, who is EY's Global Lead Telecom Analyst. So Adrian, why has EY decided to look at the digital home?
Well, the digital home is a really exciting space. You've got lots of different TMT providers. They're all targeting upside in the home, targeting greater share of wallet, and customer experience is the key way they differentiate. So in that light, it really makes sense to find out exactly what consumers are thinking, and that's why we've conducted a household survey of 2,500 consumers.
One thing that really struck me was that people are willing to pay more now for communications services. Why is that?
That's pretty interesting and almost quite counterintuitive, because you hear a lot about the death of the high street. There's lots of anxiety around consumer confidence right now. In actual fact, it may be that people are becoming a little bit less price sensitive. They're still concerned about quality. And actually we found that quite a significant proportion of people worry that when they switch broadband providers, they may get inferior service, and that's why they may want to pay a little bit more than before.
Now, trends in how people use digital services vary among different age groups. What are some of the trends we're seeing among young people?
Yeah, young people, extremely interesting, because we have this notion of them as being digital natives. They find everything very instinctive and very natural in the online world. But actually, we found in our survey that that's not always the case. Yes, they are more interested in the latest smartphones, they're more likely to be streaming, but actually they find quite a lot of services quite difficult to understand. They find it difficult to track their favourite content across different devices and platforms, and actually they're quite keen to digitally detox.
The report talks about this bundle jungle, this idea that there's just too many packages and bundles of content and services and broadband, and people can't necessarily make sense of how much they're paying or what they're paying for. Is there a way out of this bundle jungle?
There could be. Ultimately, I think TMT providers need to simplify their propositions and really showcase what they can provide in an intuitive way to consumers. There has been this tendency in the past to keep adding more and more service features, more and more functions to already quite complex packages, and we're finding year on year that this just simply isn't resonating with consumers. So if you look at packages with mobile, quad play packages, they're actually stalling right now. So there's a real onus on service providers to simplify what they're offering.
The report says that web browsing has peaked and people are now looking to a digital detox, kind of cutting down on their use of digital services. Is this a problem for technology and media companies?
I think it's actually, again, a way that they can possibly differentiate going forwards. People are finding the online universe quite overwhelming. They've got an increasingly functional attitude to the internet. The era of surfing is kind of trending down. So again, it's trying to adapt your propositions to cater for these smaller chunks of time that people want to use online.
Data security is in the news a lot more than it used to be. Are people aware of the risks now more than they used to be?
They are absolutely aware of the risks. And I think if you look last year with the introduction of GDPR, for example, people are very, very sensitive now to the whole notion of digital privacy, data security. You can't move for headlines about data breaches, etc. And we're finding that people are starting to take care of themselves online. They're regularly updating their antivirus software. They're regularly changing their passwords. But there is recognition almost that this is a problem that can never be fully solved. And actually 4 in 10 people think their personal data can never be secure on the internet.
Disinformation is a hot topic among technology circles and political circles at the moment. But how is trust in the media evolving among the public?
It is evolving in different directions, and I think you need to sort of decompress this issue of trust. On the one hand, in terms of traditional news sources, people are more receptive to them, partly because of some of the negative headlines around politically inspired disinformation. On another level, there's a very real issue of data privacy and security and content security. And we're starting to see that people are much more keen that the internet is tightly regulated to restrict what people can access online. So it's a multifaceted issue, and it's certainly something that TMT providers need to be aware of.
I found the report enlightening on a number of different aspects of the digital home, but what surprised you most?
I think what surprised me was really this kind of trend towards digital detox and the fact that it's actually more elevated among young people. We may have reached some kind of tipping point or saturation point in terms of people's appetite for the online world, and that really tasks TMT providers with providing much more simple, intuitive propositions.
Adrian Baschnonga, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.